You're listening to Late Night Radio on the SHR Media Network. Caution, there will be mature themes explored and potentially adult language used. If conservatarian words, phrases, certain concepts, or rhetoric offends you, tune out now.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
I'm pushing them back from the saloon to the airwaves. I'm spitting it raw. Constitution's my compass, liberty's law. Big gulfs creeping, shadows on the land. Feds with the schemes trying to bind up my hands. But I'm the Sherpa, guiding through the storm. Red, white, and blue, yeah, freedom's reborn. They spin their tails, but I see through the haze. Media maggots, lost in the maze. I'm calling it out, no fear in my soul. This patriot's fire ain't losing control. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. Let this judge is twisted, trying to steal our rights, but I'm locked and loaded, got them in my sights. From J6 to the border, they're selling us out. I'm screaming from the mountain, hear my rebel shout. They mock the flag, but I'm holding it high. Stars and stripes forever under God's open sky. No globalist chains gonna cage this land. I'm the Sherpa with the truth in my hand. They push their agenda, but I'm breaking the mold. Their promises empty, their hearts ice cold. Chicago's bleeding, borders torn apart. I'm fighting for the people with the warrior's heart. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. I've walked the line, 41 years, badge on the grind, now I'm on the air. My voice like a blade, cutting through the lies that the traitors made. Hurricanes rage, but we're standing tall. Sheriffs of the Constitution answering the call. From the saloon to the heart of the fray, we're taking back America, no more delay. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas static, hear my voice resound. Conservative Sherpa, freedom's battleground. Berserk, Bobcat, rules will never kneel. For God and country, this fight is real.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, where I am broadcasting live and direct from North Idaho in an actual free state surrounding me right now. It is damn glorious. So, as indicated, I am this guy. I am your conservative Sherpa. My obmang is to guide you through the insidious maelstrom of globalist and Democrat and leftist chaos and lies and tyranny and deceit and betrayal, so weiter, and that kind of stuff right there. And that's why I exist. I am here to bring Cooleribus things to you. Please note that what you're about to hear for the next 2 hours, give or take, consists of my opinion and my opinion only, doing the job the American media maggots refuse to do. I am fundamentally changing America one leftist diaper at a time, and we don't water our drinks just like we don't water our conversations. We are still serving stiff drinks right here in the saloon like this, along with facts, history, logic, rationality, clarity, proportion, context, tradition, and common sense for normal people like you and me. Politics, religion, crime, culture, economics, race, sex, science, law. We talk about it all right here at the saloon, where the speech is free, but the booze is not. I'm streaming on a ton of places right now, and I beseech thee, if you would yump into my plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room, you can do that from the SHR Media channel at YouTube. And if you would, when you're yumping right there, since you happen to be present, if you would, please subscribe. We have on the SHR Media YouTube channel about 1,830, close to 1,850 subscribers right now. And we would love to have you be one of those. If you would, if you could, would you, could you, thank you so kindly. Tonight's show is about, okay, well, essentially, muzzies on one hand, commies on the other. Who's going to win? Somebody's got to win. Will it be America? No, it won't be. We're fighting, like I said last time, we're fighting a war. And the way it is right now, you got Muslims on that side burning the flag, trying to destroy America. You got communists on the other side burning the flag, trying to kill America. And you have to ask yourself, who is going to win? Because nature essentially abhors a vacuum. And there will be winners and there will be losers. It's an age-old conundrum. And I have my thoughts about that. I'm asking you, what do you think your thoughts may be on this? Or is it even a scenario where somebody's got to win? America obviously has to win. But will it? Can it at this point? Before we begin, I want to start with this. The drummer for ZZ Top passed away today at the age of 77. And his name was Frank Beard. A strange kind of thing, because he was the only guy of the original group who never had a beard. Frank Beard, beardless, Dusty Hill on bass, beard full, and Billy Gibbons on guitar, massively beard full over the years. Well, originally I knew something was up when ZZ Top said that probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago, they canceled some shows. And it was because of Frank Beard. Then we hear today, when he passes, that he was at his ranch in Texas. I don't remember this. Richmond, I think that was where he lived. He was in hospice there on his ranch in Richmond, which is, if I'm not mistaken, southwest of Houston. And he passed away there. You know what? If you have to go, being in your own house, being on your own ranch is the way. But, you know, up until the passing today, no one, as far as I know, had any idea that he was in hospice. And I saw them 3 times. They were incredible each and every time. The first time was in Los Angeles, the second in San Francisco, and then the third, where was that? I think that was back in San Francisco. The most recent was in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember the exact time, but I saw them, I thought, at the time when they were the very most closerest to the blues. And so I saw them, I believe, at their greatest strength. They would put on spectacular shows, amazing shows. And then sadly, their bass player, Dusty Hill, back in 2021, God, 5 years ago, this is so strange. It does not seem 5 years ago that Dusty Hill passed away at the age of 72. And then what they did is they brought on their bass guitar tech to replace Dusty Hill, a guy named Elwood, and I can't think of his last name. And he felt continuously guilty because he thought, I'm an interloper. I feel like the guy that shouldn't be here. And Elwood Francis, that's the guy's name. And he said this to Rolling Stone back in 2024, 2 years ago. He said, Dusty Hill is their bass player. I'm not the bass player. I shouldn't even be in the band. I'm a bass guitar tech. But he replaced it. And actually, looking at some of the most recent concerts, I have to tell you, Elwood Francis was doing a damn creditable job of it. And I get it. I understand it. He feels guilty. I certainly would possibly be in that, behind that potted ficus as well. But the question now, since Frank Beard missed some concerts, I think they continued on some concerts with him. I don't know the name of the drummer that replaced him, but I'm wondering if that guy, whoever he happens to be, and if anybody knows, put it in chat. I'm wondering, okay, it'll be like Rush. Do we continue? Will we go on with a new drummer and 2/3 of ZZ Top now replaced? So the fundamental question, a great talent is still left. Billy Gibbons, got it. Master guitarist, great blues guitarist. I grok that concept, but like Rush, what if, for example, Rush missed 2 members? Would they continue? ZZ Top is now missing 2 of the original members. Will they continue? Honestly, I don't know. And that's going to be up to Billy Gibbons, Elwood, and whoever it was that they've got as their drummer at this point. But it's one of those things where you reach a certain age in life, and a lot of the people and a lot of the things that you knew that you took as a given are starting to fundamentally disappear and crumble and blow away like dust and sand. And that's when you know you're getting crusty and you're getting old, like I am, getting crusty and getting old. I have one thing that I want to play that I believed tonight would definitely fit under the aegis of the carousel of amusing GURP. And far be it from me not to play the carousel sounds at this point. And so that's when I put this up. Because except for this, there isn't going to be a whole heck of a lot of stuff that's really funny tonight. Not an exceedingly humorous show. But I have to start with this. Well, let's just play it. I get sent videos like this, so let's go.
Okay, Candace, full disclosure, I'm only here because you...
Okay, I remember this now. Remember Candace Owens? She's incredibly smart. Okay, go.
We're the only studio in New York that has air conditioning.
I didn't want to then extrapolate and jump to conclusions.
No, it's extrapolate. Extrapolate, yeah.
Oh, well, what we can extrapolate from...
Do you really think it's pronounced extrapolate?
They then tried to extrapolate that error to mean that...
Extrapolate.
But Xavier...
Well, come on, it's an O extrapolate. Like the strop, for sharpening a razor. Yeah, that's it.
Broussard in his book, Becoming Brigitte, is unequivocal.
Unequivocal?
Unequivocal. Unequivocal.
You're trying to say unequivocal? It doesn't even make sense in that context.
Wouldn't be on the brink of my seat.
Like you were on the edge of your seat. I'm on the brink of a mental breakdown.
I'm on the edge of a precipice.
Look, the short and the thick of it is
the long and the short of it. The long and the short of it is you don't know the English language. That's the long and the short of it.
you're left to assume that it had been made in the umpteenth hour.
You mean to say is the 11th hour? You mean the 11th hour?
That's what she means. Come on.
Umpteenth time. You mean to say the 11th hour?
These are the people who you need to stay away with.
People you need to stay away with?
Wait. These are the people you need to stay away with. So you grab a whole bunch of people to make sure that you stay away from other people, but you grab it. What?
Stay away from?
Completely exacerbated every effort.
Wait a second.
What? Wait a minute.
It's been you all along.
It's me, Joe Biden, in chocolate face. How about that?
No, can't be. It was. Like I say, I get sent videos like that all the time. Nobody else has that video. And when people send those things to me, I got to send them to you. This hit home. This next issue hit home because I've known people that are in similar situations. People, which may have included me at one point. And so it reminded me of this when some Hollywood chick named Hayden, whatever the hell, because frankly, I couldn't care less. Apparently, she committed seppuku. Oh, there's lots of forehead slapping going on at this point. And it's been all over the media, the American media maggots, Fox, everybody, Newsmax, they're bleeding like stuck pigs over her. Why? Who cares? I couldn't care less. Unless there's another element that I'll mention shortly, and you fix that shit. Some pampered Hollywood chick who committed suicide? All right, folks. On average, like 17 to 18 veterans commit suicide every day. On average, that's about 6,400 veteran suicides every year. They are infinitely more important than Hayden, whatever the hell. Their discipline, their sacrifice, their service, and I don't customarily thank veterans for their service because I don't know what they did, but I do know two things they had to have: discipline and sacrifice. And whatever these veterans did, it geometrically trumps whatever air quotes accomplishments she achieved. Our veterans count. Period. End of statement. Now, when you can fix that shit for men and women that have served their country, yeah, maybe I can boo-hoo some stuff over people who have essentially done nothing but be famous. And that's my end of Hayden, whatever the hell. But I will continue to say that if you have issues, if you can talk or get people to talk, wrong one, then speak to a veteran. Better yet, get them to call. That's how you get there. It's no more simple than that. And what really pissed me off about this is somebody on social media, on X to be specific. And their name isn't worth mentioning. And when I put that, because you can go to my X feed and see everything that I'm going to talk about tonight, including this. And then one of the replies I got about veterans and the graphic that I just put up is somebody said, "Oh, you're a goldfish, aren't you?" Okay. Let's examine that word. That word to certain personnel means that you have the intelligence quotient of a goldfish. Really? I'm a goldfish because I give a shit about our veterans. I was lit up just a bit to the point where I knew that I was not going. There are times when silence and a non-response is the best response. Frequently, the only response. Because if I were feeling motivated in such a way, I would have had them. I would have unloaded on both barrels onto them. And I'm glad, honestly, I'm glad I didn't. It really wasn't necessary. There are some situations, and I'm sure you find yourself in similar situations when you're on social media and you see, I don't know, whatever. And you think, oh, here it comes. You are going to get, and then someone, the devil on your left shoulder, the angel on your right, who are you going to listen to? And sometimes you unload. And sometimes you realize that, jacking your BP up to 210 over 190 ain't worth it for a piece of shit like them. And so I took a breath. I stood back. Actually, I sat back and just thought, drop it, BZ. Just drop it. Things, I believe in karma. There are a lot of things that I believe in. And I've done some bad stuff in my life. And I recognize that. And I have no idea what awaits me. Do I go up? Do I go down? I know where I'd rather go. And I know I'm going to be judged because I know everybody, the Lord and Jesus, they have seen it all. They know it all. I'm just going to wait and see. But sometimes just taking a breath and pausing a bit is the best thing to do. And then I see something. Now, I moved to the free state of Idaho let me put the story up and then I'll pontificate in just a moment. This country has freedom. This state has freedom. And I don't customarily cover a lot of things in my state, in Idaho, where I live. And I moved from Califailure back in 21. And I don't usually draw attention to Idaho because for the most part, there isn't that much to cover in terms of negativity about my new state. But I can tell, if you think there is even one state that isn't fouled with the stench, with the infection of leftism, you're wrong. And that includes Idaho as well. And if your state is not so infected, which I don't think that's true anymore, you'd have to live at very high elevations in mountainous country and just only come down to a semblance of civilization every once in a while. But every state is starting to break left just slightly. Idaho is no different. States are worse. And you know what? The good thing is I'll be dead before Idaho looks like Texas, or before Idaho looks like New York, or before Idaho looks like New Jersey, or any other, or Califailure, or any other leftist piece of shit scum blue state. But this torqued my clock just a bit. There's a place called, and I'm going to put up the photo for you to look at and to identify if you happen to get there. Whiteaho Roasters Coffee Shop in Driggs, Idaho. I'm going to play a clip. The guy that owns this has a right to do what he does. What's he do? Well, I'll show you in just a bit. As I have the right to say that this guy is a leftist piece of filth and that no one should purchase anything from this asswipe. Just in case, here's a photo of his business if you want to recognize it from the outside, and flip him the bird as you drive by and avoid going into this building, his business. Because I'm going to play a video, then we're going to take a break, and we'll come right back. But I want to play the video first, because this is, and during the video, this guy says something that is, like most leftists, way stupid and uneducated.
I said everybody is welcome, but I said I don't want this group meeting here.
Sir, we're just meeting for the first meeting.
I don't care. Go to the public library. This is my place of business.
But I thought.
Okay, if you can't see the small print that's down there, it says breaking. I was just kicked out of an Idaho coffee shop with a group of peaceful pro-lifers simply for meeting there to discuss how we can support pregnant moms in need. And this is what happened. This guy is apparently the owner.
This was like, we come here all the time. We just already bought our food and stuff.
That's fine.
But you're kicking us out of your. We're just.
Did I make it very clear that I did not want you here? Yeah, I did a lot of work to get people on the ballot so women would have the right to choose in the state of Idaho. And this is something I do not support, nor does my wife, and it's our business. So we have that choice.
So you're kicking us out. You're kicking out me and Bear, who's starting this group.
Like I say, it's his right. He can do that.
And you're going to kick us out.
It's like, if the KKK asked to meet here, I would say no.
So you think pro-lifers are like the...
Okay, stop. Again, this is so incredibly typical of assholes like this. Hey, kids, who started the KKK? Wasn't Republicans. It was Democrats.
KKK, is that what you're saying?
In my world, it's the same sort of concept.
That is so beyond hard. Pro-lifers, those who advocate.
This guy obviously, clearly is a public school graduate who knows nothing about, I don't know, Margaret Sanger, the biggest racist on the planet. Leftists love Margaret Sanger.
The dignity of every human life, even children in the womb.
I've
You were saying we are
I've
like
made
the
my
KKK.
point clear. I asked you guys not to meet here. I said everybody.
And he's right. He's absolutely 100% fundamentally right. He can say that. He can proscribe those people and keep them from the shop. Okay, great. I hope nobody ever goes there again. I'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
In a world where leftists are running out of metal for the safety pins of their soothing red diapers, one man stands alone, attempting to fundamentally change America, one leftist diaper at a time. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, is guiding you through the maelstrom of Democrat leftists and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Listen to BZ Saloon on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern on the SHR Media YouTube channel, Twitch, KLRN, Rumble, and X at BZ Saloon. It's one great late-night conservatarian talk radio show. Be there. Aloha.
Hello, friends. You have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior monarchy. No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name is Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN Radio.
It's Sean from the Edge of Liberty. Just like the Bidens, I too am moving. Only in my case, it's days and times. That's right. You can now find the Edge of Liberty Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on 11 Eastern on the SHR Media Network. Join me as we talk politics, news, alcohol, fun, not so much fun, clowns, small kittens, large kittens, dogs, amoebas, and anything else that just pops into my mind while I'm on the air. That is Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, on YouTube, X, KLRN Radio, Facebook, Twitch, and anywhere else a good podcast is found. Please check out our website, shrmedia.com. I will see you live on the air.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Independence. With that declaration, America was born. Inspired by a belief in the God-given rights of every human being, and in the good that comes from exercising these rights well. The founders of our great nation chose independence. As do we. Hillsdale College accepts no government funding because independence makes possible the good to which we aspire.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You know what makes me happy? By the way, the first half hour down. You know what makes me happy is this: killing trolls in chat. Now, I love it when your numbers are here, and I think that's wonderful. Come one, come all. But when ad hominem attacks occur, then, well, bye-bye. Absolutely bye-bye. So, you know what? Most of you, all of you who look at me and say, oh, you must already be in diapers. You know what? You'll be lucky to make it to half my age, just half my age. And I will dance on your grave, punks, because I can still dance. By the way, let's look at this right now. It appears as though Wyoming governor primary results, it looks like Kenneth Kasner, he's got it. He votes 0, percentage 0. He wins the Wyoming primary on the Democrat side. And then the interesting thing is a guy named Eric Barlow has won in Wyoming. The funny thing is, though, be careful of who it is that you're voting for, because if you do a little bit of an examination into this Wyoming, what you'll discover is that his mommy and his parents and his family are all leftists in the Sierra Club. So before you go voting for somebody just because they got a GOP behind them, I suggest and proffer and throw out, you might want to do a little bit of examination before you go into that. Also, let me put this up. Florida's House District 25 looks like Scott Singer is going to be the winger. Scott Singer, the winger at this point. Jared Moskowitz on the Democrat side. Okay, well, we see that battle lining up. And then this is interesting. I point this out, and I will get to the Muzzy versus commie crap here in a minute, because frequently there isn't a dime's worth of difference between the two. They both hate America and they want to see you all dead, except for them. And then there will be a culture clash, and then somebody somewhere is going to hold up the scorecard 8, 7.5, 9 to determine who the winner is. Anyway, Florida House. On the Republican side, Brent Anderson looks like he's going to be the winner there. This is interesting. You can't see the small print. You're just going to have to try me, Ming. Debbie Wasserman Schultz won on the Democrat side. She is the projected winner over Dale Holness, black dude. Elijah Manley, black dude. And I can guarantee you that blacks in Florida House District 20 are pissed. They will not be happy today with the results of that. Guaranteed. This also I find interesting. And DeSantis, if I'm not mistaken, is termed out. So for Florida governor, you're going to have probably, I'm taking off my little skull cap and putting on my thinking cap, and I'm going to say Byron Donalds is going to be your new governor. Oh, no, BZ, you don't actually like a black guy, do you? Well, I don't really care about their paint job. I care about their philosophy. So, Imho, I think that's probably going to be Florida's new governor in the government. And also this story, I find this bizarre because this was, let's see, what today? Today's August 18th, the year of our Lord 2026. This came through yesterday. And after I heard this is about 30 seconds. You'll get it. And then I have another story about it after this. I heard this initially yesterday, and I thought, wait a cotton picking minute. This ought to be exploding all over the internet. And it wasn't. Okay, so what happened is there was a huge drone attack by Ukraine on Moscow. Ukraine launched one of the biggest drone strikes of the war. 600 plus drones sent towards Moscow. And apparently, Russian logistical hubs and warehouses are on fire. And it's like this disappeared. This was just bizarro time.
So Ukraine launching a massive drone attack on Russia, about 600 drones aimed toward Moscow, according to the city's mayor, killing at least 6 people in one of Ukraine's largest aerial attacks of the war to date. That's significant.
Okay, stop. For those of you who may not know, map of Russia, Moscow is generally on the western end, so it's not like Moscow is deep in Siberia, like most of you leftists think because you are ill-educated. It's towards the western portion of Russia. I almost said USSR because I had been used to saying that for quite some time. Warehouses and shit outside Moscow are burning from Ukraine drones.
There's more hitting other parts of Russia. Ukraine has been stepping up attacks with long-range missiles and swarms of drones targeting military industries and energy infrastructure, sometimes deep inside of Russia.
And now so the funny thing is about that, you know, the new type of war is conducted with drones. And people are discovering these are difficult to stop. Now, what they did not say, what was not specified in that article or in that video was drones such as what? Are we talking about the the DJ type of drones from China with 4 props on the top, or are you talking about a full-fledged drone like a Reaper drone? Well, I haven't found the answer to that. And CBS came up with the same thing. And so they said again on CBS, I'll show you the story in just a second. And by the way, if you don't believe me, like I say every show, go to the Rumble side of BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show on Rumble. Look in there. You'll see all the show links. I don't put them in YouTube because there's no room for all the links that I have there. But if you decide that I don't believe anything you say, BZ, well, go to Rumble and you'll find all the links to the articles and to the videos, because I don't need to make this crap up. Because I can't. I'm a techno-Luddite. I don't have that capacity. So CBS said Ukraine launched over 600 drones. They think 637 Ukrainian drones. And they continued to be launched at Moscow. 180 apparently were shot down someplace in the Moscow region. And 150 of them were allegedly intercepted, according to Russia, someplace across the country. And so, again, this is kind of big news. You're hitting, Ukraine is hitting Russia in Putin territory. And I have yet, unless you guys have, I've yet to see any Russian response from Putin by this. And to me, this screams, you know what? We have a real big, serious weakness here. And apparently, we're not going to talk much about it at all. Now, that was a CBS article. Now, here's something from ABC. And there's a dude named Terry Moran who says the American media maggots censor news stories and they work with the government on what stories are allowed to air. Here's a quote. A news organization is running things by the government for approval. Yeah. Go ahead, take it.
I did feel the heavy hand of censorship in my work at ABC News.
They took the story that you did and either sent a copy of a transcript or a copy of the video to Anthony Fauci.
That's what I was told. I don't know that that's true personally, but I was told that. It was COVID. Early in 2021, I'm seeing online and elsewhere people that I thought were smart saying, maybe this leaked from the lab. Well, that's interesting. So I went to Nightline. I said, hey, I'd like to do a story on, and they were like, great. Yeah, let's do it. We talked to molecular virologists. We talked to people in the Trump administration, and we kind of laid it out and we're ready to go. And the day that it's supposed to air, it gets reviewed and it comes back to me. And it is incomprehensible. They'd put so many caveats in there and it was so legalized.
These lawyers?
Lawyer standards. And I was told, Fauci.
Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that all you need to know about that? Fauci was accused of censoring ABC's lab leak report. I'm sure there's got to be more to the story, right? Okay, so here's a story that is, I guess, sort of a happy story, although I don't have a true happy story segment for tonight. But I find it interesting. Seattle Mayor Wilson, the socialist or DSA member, whatever the hell she wants to label herself, who still lives with mommy and daddy, is facing a legal petition for her recall, and they were submitted to the King County Elections Office. And I find this interesting in light of the other things that are occurring these days. We'll just have to see where that goes. But I'm simply indicating to you that are things changing? Maybe yes, maybe no. Also, on that same vein, because we're over in Seattle, now we're going to be going south a little bit to California. Califailure. There's this. Do you have a vehicle? Do you have an EV? Do you have a truck? Do you have any kind of a vehicle that's in Califailure? So today, Califailure became the first state in the nation to create rules limiting now. You thought it was a nanny state before. That's how you're treated in Califailure to create rules limiting the kind of replacement tires that you can buy for their car. They're pushing energy efficiency. Well, that doesn't sound so terrible, does it?
California regulators approved new rules that will limit the type of tires you can buy when it's time to replace them on your car.
Yeah, while the California Energy Commission says that this is meant to save money for consumers, tire makers say that this will add to the cost of living here in the state. In case Area 3 was the only TV station at the meeting today, Case Area 3 political director Ashley Zavala was there to watch the vote. So walk us through what this is supposed to do.
This was a lengthy hearing, and ultimately...
Okay, why are you playing this stupid stuff, BZ, all this ridiculous crap from Califailure? Because generally what occurs in Califailure transmogrifies into other leftist areas first and then infects lots of other places. Well, I'm going to stop the video right there because I have more things to illustrate, to put up about this ridiculous shot. Here's a story again about the same thing. It's the New York Post. And so if you make some kind of a trip to the, and this will be up in, under show links in Rumble. What they're saying here is, well, this is all about protecting consumers, right? So the target for this is rolling resistance. And rolling resistance, because I'm sorry, the devil's in the detail, leftists, you morons. Rolling resistance is this. I taught this crap for EVOC for my department for quite some time. A harder compound reduces rolling resistance. A softer compound on a tire makes rolling resistance higher. That is to say, if you have low rolling resistance, your mileage may tend to go up. Higher rolling resistance means your mileage may tend to go down. And they're saying, oh, well, and it will help ICE vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles, and it will help EVs. Well, it'll help EVs. How? Because allegedly you can get a few more miles out of a charge of that. But hey, what won't it help? It won't help performance. So for all of you people who have performance cars in Califailure, you can have $105,000 to $150,000 Chevrolet Corvette, and your handling is greatly limited or applied by the quality of the tire that you have on the automobile, taking the power, the horsepower created by that car and its inherent handling characteristics, and being able to put it down on the ground, apply it to handling characteristics via the contact patch. The bigger a contact patch you have, the more grip you're going to have, which equates to more performance. So it just makes me wonder, okay, what's going to happen? Well, they measure it in newtons per square inch, or as I like to say, furlongs per fortnight. They will be, you'll save at least, they say, $79 in gas or electricity within 4 months. Okay, well, the tire manufacturers say something similar to, okay, well, what it will probably end up doing is driving up costs and technical and legal questions that are not addressed. Like, for example, what's the first thing you think people are going to be addressing in their brainulus when they say, oh, these tires, which are really grippy, and when it's time for them to be replaced, can I get something equally grippy? And the answer is going to be, in Califailure, no, you can't. And then the first thing you think is, oh, well, how about if I just go to, I don't know, Nevada? How about if I just go to, I don't know, Oregon and get some new tires? And will they have tire police on the borders? The answer is no. Here's what they may do, however. The next time that you decide that you're going to take, and you go to, wherever, and you order tires out of state, or you buy tires out of state, you put them on your car and you bring it in. Hey, you ever think about this, kids? What happens if you, well, let's say your car needs service. Let's say your car needs a tune-up. Let's say your car needs a repair, and you take it to an independent garage or you take it back to the dealer. And the dealer is now told, by way of califailure regulations, by, I don't know, CARB, and says, if you find tires that are not on this form and do not comport with what we've said the limitations include, you must report that consumer to fill in the blank. Maybe the CARB, maybe someplace else. Another bureaucracy in califailure. And I say all these things simply because everybody thinks, oh, it can't happen here. This can't happen here. Well, yeah, maybe it can. So you rolled over for, let's say you rolled over for EVs in califailure. You thought, oh, EVs, that's a great damn thing. Sure, I'm into the EVs in califailure. Then you discovered, shockingly, that you're no longer guaranteed a spot in the HOV lane. Well, okay. Then you discover that you're eventually, according to califailure, going to be taxed EV or ICE vehicle, doesn't matter, immaterial. You're going to be taxed per mile. Then you'll adore the tire mandates. Won't that be fun? Won't that be special? And then here's the weird odd bird that says this in califailure.
Look at the gas prices everyone's experiencing. Look at how much we're paying for gas. If we can bring each Californian's cost down just a little bit, then why wouldn't we?
Why is California gas so expensive? Self-applied taxes, courtesy of Gavin Newsom. You know, it's like the guy saying, you guys are the KKK. Democrats created the KKK. Who applied the high gas prices? Comma, you silly bint.
You know why it sat dormant for so long?
Well, there may not have been those kind of pressures, cost pressures, right? And, you know, obviously,
you gotta justify this somehow. Califailure is the quintessential nanny state. I put this up because whatever kind of clotted information or ideas get created in califailure go someplace else. Just like this. Now, Governor Whitmer decided that I'm going to pave the state with more inefficient, toxic solar panels. Kind of like solar hellscapes, like the ones that were created in Elk Grove in califailure. Here's an interesting point when I show you this story. So there's a company called Invenergy, and they're proposing 150 megawatt solar and battery storage projects in a place called Macon Township. And I point this out because where this is aimed, data centers are similarly aimed as well. They're only doing this in areas where they believe they can get away with it. The wealthy NIMBY areas who have lots of attorneys on beck and call, on speed dial, these aren't the areas where this is occurring. And that's just kind of weird. Don't you think? I think so. Here in Macon Township, here's the story. And I'll put it up here. And Chicago-based Invenergy is committed to working with local communities. And the deal is, with Governor Whitmer, by the way, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you about data centers. Nobody's going to ask you about data centers because these bureaucrats, they don't give a shit about you. I've said this time and time again. And so I said earlier in the show, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you in the carousel of amusing GURP, this is me last year when I was trying out with the Cleveland Browns. And I had my own jersey. I didn't perform all that well. I was a little bit overweight. Just thought I'd mention that to you. Anyway, the story tonight is muzzies versus commies and who wins. And they both want to light up the American flag, and neither one care about you. As long as you obey, you display obeisance. Period. End of statement. And this will be the last story before we go to the top of the hour break, because somebody needs a break. I got to let the dog out of the studio. So in any event, here, hey, look, what happened?
Hey there, if Democrats lose to Trump yet again, these are all the red flags. Democrats, you have only about 100 days until the midterm elections, and you don't have control of either chamber anywhere close to being locked up. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking, first off, we're talking about cash on hand. We're talking about cash on hand. You know, Democrats, they're much more like this. They're your $1 bills, while Republicans, you're much more like this, your 50s, and dare I say, even your $100 bills, because just take a look here. Cash on hand from the main outside groups, ergo your congressional committees, right, your NRSC. Take a look here. Republicans at this point, $657 million. My goodness gracious, that's why I'm talking about these bills, right, $100 bills. While the Democrats, only about $334 million, only about half the level of Republicans. And of course, cash is what makes the world go round.
That's true. But I also care to say that's just part of the equation. It's the most important aspect or part of it is this. Okay. There's a guy that I follow on X called Dr. Maloof. And he pointed this out. And it deserves pointing out each and every time I'm on the air. Because Mr. Helms, my civics teacher in the 60s in high school, yeah, I'm that old, said, Democrats don't win elections, Republicans lose them. Why do Republicans lose them? Because they simply assume that their votes aren't needed and they're not required to go out, and they're lazy asses. Now, as Dr. Maloof pointed out, and this is beginning to point to Islam and everyone else, and it comes back to you, Republicans. It comes back to you, conservatives. 40% of America votes. Less than half in local elections and primaries. It's about 10%. That's how commies and muzzies got Mamdani installed as New York mayor. A minimum amount of people came out, but more people came out for Mamdani than other people so not motivated. Over 95% of Muslims vote in New York alone. 98% of Muslims voted for Mamdani. That's why Muslims and DSA, Democrat Socialists of America, they're not socialists, they're communists. That's why they're being elected all over the country. Because people who are conservatives and Republicans don't get their fat, lazy asses out to vote. I have voted in every election since 1980. When I was a massive leftist in college, got a job, got a series of jobs, and then decided, holy crap, what are these ridiculous things called taxes, and why are they chewing the hell out of my paycheck? It was taxes that made me a Republican. It was taxes who made me a conservative. Oh boy, do I have more stuff for you right after this. Don't go away. Be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Listen in to the Reaver of Common Sense, where we cut through the noise of news and politics with a show equipped for bombast. Tune in Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific, featuring a refreshing dose of reality. Jersey Joe fearlessly tackles the tough topics with no nonsense. Just pure common sense. Visit shrmedia.com, where you can hear the Reaver of Common Sense in action. He may not always be polite. He may not always be refined. But one thing's for sure. He always tells it like it is.
Are you looking for a way to boldly express your faith and love for your country? And check out 7 Armors, the premier apparel company for patriotic men of God, where faith meets freedom in style. Our t-shirts are more than just clothing. They're statements. Bold, stylish, and meaningful. From timeless messages to modern designs, we've got something for every patriotic man of God. Wear your beliefs proudly with 7 Armors gear. Don't miss the chance to wear your faith and freedom on your sleeve. Visit 7armors.com today and join the movement. That's the number 7armors.com. 7armors.com. Faithful, vigilant, steadfast, passion.
Are you looking for bold, honest conversation about the issues shaping America? Well, let me welcome you to Unleash 101 with Jeremy Hansen, where we take you beyond the headlines. We dive into politics and culture, the struggles of everyday life. It's raw, real, and unfiltered. If you're ready for truth with a punch, pull up a chair and join us. That's right, Unleashed 101, where real talk feels like home. Find us at unleashed101.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. We look forward to seeing you. Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen.
Freedom. One nation in all of human history was built on that bedrock. Ours. A republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Self-government requires freedom, just as freedom requires an individual willingness to self-govern. Freedom has made America exceptional. But it can only last as long as you and I seek the good, as expressed by the laws of nature and nature's God. It can only last if you and I choose to act as people of character. Forging character has been the pursuit of Hillsdale College since 1844.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Second hour beginning. Put the boy up. What's going on? There he is. I'm BZ. You're in the saloon. I had some vodka during the break. With luck, you have your imbibement of choice while you're here tonight in the saloon. It's 9:04 p.m. Pacific. It's 11:04 p.m. Central and midnight 04 on the East Coast. And oddly enough, I tend to get the greatest number of viewers from the East Coast. I'm not sure really how that goes, but it just does. It does. By the way, not this Thursday. Let me see if I can find it. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday, I'm going to have a special guest in the saloon. It will be Dr. Carla Dean Graves, and she's an expert on what happened during COVID, and she's also an expert in election integrity, a good friend of, she's got, I spoke to her earlier today and then last week on Friday. And she has so many people on speed dial that she knows everyone. It's just the strangest thing to talk to somebody that knows anybody and everybody essentially in politics. And she was going to originally be on this coming Thursday night, couldn't make it, going to be on next Thursday night. And I will give appropriate notifications of that. But anyway, that's a coming achievement in the future, next Thursday, not this Thursday. Between tomorrow and next Thursday, the 20th, this week, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Nobody does. Now, the theme of tonight is muzzies versus commies. Who's going to win? And it's not difficult to know that somebody's going to win when you have, I'm going to play a video, and first people, the first inclination is, okay, that's a funny video. It was amusing. It's Johnny, whatever the hell his name, from Jesse Waters, going out and interviewing people. And we always enjoy that. Ha ha, yuck, yuck, Uben Glit, Gleben Broof. And this is how, folks, by the way, communism and Islam appeals to and infects the brains of idiots. Because these people are idiots. Know nothing. I'm going to play the bulk of the video until I can't take it anymore. And initially when I saw this, oh, it's like, no, this is really damn sorry. It's pitiful, but it's the state of whatever the hell art exists for young morons today.
Who is Donald Trump's vice president?
Am I supposed to know this?
Couldn't tell you. Don't pay attention.
I couldn't tell you.
JD Vance.
Vice president. I don't know. J.K. Rowling.
You're a wizard, Harry. J.K. Rowling. You know, on one level, yeah, it is funny. On another level, these are the people who will be dupes for Islam and communism. They're that brain dead.
Name the 3 branches of government.
I don't know why I chose to do this. Oh God, I'm bad with all this.
Congress and conservative.
Republican, Democrat,
Judicial, legislative.
executive.
Wow. It only took 3 of them to do that.
Jewish?
This whole thing's off the rails. You're not going to be even air this.
What is the First Amendment of the Constitution?
I have no idea.
I'm allowing you to do it right now.
Oh, free will?
I got nothing.
Freedom of speech? I need help.
I need help. What is the Second Amendment of the Constitution?
The right to vote?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Folks, these morons are our future. And trust me when I tell you that Islam and communism loves gibbering baboons like this, because they know they can be talked into anything, persuaded into anything, bribed into anything. These are tools that will be useful for commies or muzzies. It's a sad state of affairs, but this isn't atypical. This isn't even B-typical. It's so sad. And then you have, again, more dupes like this.
They are.
Yeah. Even if they're a radical Islamist.
Yes. There's no right to judge them. Absolutely. Because we have freedom of religion. We should be able to believe in whoever we want to believe in.
Exactly.
We do.
Who do you have more in common with, would you say? A Trump supporter or a radical Islamist?
I don't even know if it's between the two of them.
Well, just between the two, who do you think you would have more in common with?
Probably a radical Islam. Yeah, because
That's what muzzies want you to think. You'll be a tool. And by the way, you ignorant slut, you'll be the first to be burked out in a full head-to-toe beekeeper's uniform, and your children will be, they'll be blessed with FGM. How wonderful for you. And if you don't obey, you can be killed. Isn't that wonderful too? Islam loves people like you. How about some, I don't know, how about some history? How about some truth about Islam? Like this.
With Christianity comes peace. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
What about the Crusades?
the question was, and if you interrupt the answer, you'll find that you don't get to ask another question. The question was, am I saying that with Christianity comes peace? No, I'm not. I'm saying with Christ comes peace. But then the question was, what about the Crusades? So let me answer that directly.
Answer it.
The Crusades were launched after 7 centuries of constant Islamic aggression.
Listen to the countries. By the way, were you aware that the Middle East was primarily Christian at one point? Go.
Before the very first crusade was launched in 1095, Muslims had invaded the following Christian lands. They had invaded Christian Syria, Christian Jordan, Christian Palestine, Christian Egypt, Christian Algeria, Christian Libya, Christian Morocco, Christian Portugal, Christian Spain, Christian France, Christian Sicily, Christian Turkey, Christian Armenia, Christian Italy, all before the first crusade. The Crusades are a legitimate response to Islamic aggression and Islamic violence.
BZ, why are you boring the crap out of the audience with history? Because it's history. And if you don't hear it now, and if this isn't immured by me, who else will do this? If you want to see it or hear it again, you can point to this show, to these videos, and say, look, here's a little bit of education with regard to Islam, because you're not going to hear it anywhere else.
I don't need to hear any lectures about the Crusades from people who support Islamic colonialism, Islamic imperialism, Islamic dominion, and Arabization.
Stop. Do you think really, truly, in your most fetid fever dream, in whatever neural regions exist within your brainulus, do you think that Muslims are here to, they're here to meld, and they're here to assimilate, and they believe in JFK's ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country? They're all about that, right? No, Islam is here to dominate and to conquer and to breed and to yield demography, which becomes prophecy, which is how they conquered. I say again, in Islam, with regard to men, women are for breeding, boys are for pleasure, along with various forms of livestock.
Any other questions about any aspect of Christian history, Christian belief, Christian values, traditions? This is your opportunity. Any questions? Go on.
So you spoke about the Crusades.
Yep.
Is it the same situation with the slave trade? Because they use Christianity to convert Africans and then bring them along in ships to the Americas.
Okay, so he's asking about the slave trade. I don't know if you could hear that or not. One of the first things I say about blacks in the slave trade is this. Who decided that they were going to eliminate slavery? Oh, that's right. It's Republicans. And when you have a pact between various consumers, okay, for every buyer, which is all the terrible white slavers, you need a seller, don't you? Well, in Africa, who was selling? Who was selling blacks? Oh, that's right, blacks. It wasn't whites. They didn't live in Africa. But it took blacks to sell. blacks. For every buyer, you need a seller.
Okay.
What did Islam have to do with that?
So he asked the question, what does Islam have to do with the slave trade?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm going to address your full question. Let's be clear. Before the European slave trade of the 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s that happened in West Africa, the Islamic slave trade had existed in the Muslim world for nearly 14 centuries prior. For nearly, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, that can't be true. That guy lies. You're a dupe if you don't listen to this. And that's how you get purchased. Your soul gets purchased by Islam because you give it up willingly. Oh, and communists. We'll talk about communists too. Muzzy's first right there.
For nearly 11 centuries, Muslims had taken slaves across Africa, across Europe, and had taken them into the Muslim world. And all through the time that Europeans practiced slavery, for the full 300 years of the European slave trade, Muslims continued to practice their own slave trade. They continued to kidnap people from Europe. They continued to kidnap people from Indonesia, people from India, people from Afghanistan, people from Africa.
Okay, remember, this is history. What's going on right now with regard to history? Could you say, and I'll show you later, I don't know, like scrubbing of history, the elimination of history, the consumption of printed material for AI, which ends up shredding physical, tangible evidence of history, gone. Once physical, tangible evidence of history is gone, anyone can make up anything.
And take them into the Islamic slave market to trade them as slaves. They did this because Muhammad was a slave trader who bought slaves and sold slaves.
And he was a pedophile too. Just thought I'd throw that in for good measure.
Christians, however, have ended the slave trade multiple times at different parts of history, at different geographies around the world for the last 2,000 years.
Okay, now I have 3 videos to show you about this. And the reason, as I've said many a time before, the reason I put these videos and articles and whatnot up is if for no other reason than to immure them into my shows so that when all the rest of the evidence falls away or books are burned or eliminated or they're torn up, spit out, rare books as well for Amazon at the behest of AI, this stuff will stay. It will, I hope, stay. And I use these and I put them up so that I myself personally can use these for future reference because I keep everything. I have amazing amounts of tabs. I have amazing amounts of bookmarks and areas for bookmarks. I keep most of this all. I have so much stuff that sometimes it's even difficult for me to find the things that I want to discover to bring thusly to you. This is the first of 3 very important videos, and I'm including them all together so that you see, oh, well, it's just not me saying these things. It's not just, oh, I hear allegations of stuff like this. Go.
Most recent example was when William Wilberforce and the anti-slave traders convinced the British Empire using Christian arguments to end the British slave trade. The British Royal Navy then sacrificed blood and resources to end the slave trade around the world, including inside the Islamic world. Ladies and gentlemen, now notice the Muslim that asked the question didn't even bother to listen to the answer, because that's how they do it. They're not interested in what you've got to say. All that they want to do is try and make a polemical point, and then they're not interested in anything you have to say afterwards, because they don't like the truth. Why did Christians try to abolish the slave trade? Because our example is Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ, in a time when slavery was normal, never had a slave, never bought a slave, and never sold a slave.
And by the way, I should mention, as opposed to Muhammad, Jesus Christ wasn't a pedophile. Just thought I'd throw that in. Very important stuff. Now, I have another individual. This is Christopher Hitchens. And for all you atheists out there, you should love this guy. You should love what he has to say, because he's the prototypical, he was the quintessential British atheist. And yet he has, hey, wow, is information on Islamic fundamentalism and America, and makes a couple of interesting points. True then, he's passed away since then. True then, true now. Christopher.
In 1788, when the United States was barely a country, right, it was having its sailors taken as slaves by the Barbary states, the states of the Ottoman Empire in North Africa.
Tripoli.
Shores of Tripoli. Ships stopped. Its crews carried off into slavery. We estimate 1.5 million European and American slaves taken between 1750 and 1815. Jefferson and Adams went to their ambassador in London and said, why do you do this to us? The United States has never had a quarrel with the Muslim world of any kind. We weren't in the Crusades. We weren't in the war in Spain. Why do you do this to our people and our ships? Why do you plunder and enslave our people? And the ambassador said very plainly, Mr. Abdul Rahman said, because the Quran gives us permission to do so, because you are infidels. And that's our answer. And Jefferson said, well, in that case, I will send a navy which will crush your state, which he did. Islamic fundamentalism is not created by American democracy. It's a lie to say so. It's a masochistic lie. And it excuses those who are the real criminals, and it blames us for the attacks made upon us. In 17...
True. Oh, but wait. As I say many, many times, but wait. There's more. How about Alan West? Let's listen to him, shall we? Take it away, former Congressman West.
How in America do we best combat the Mohammedans when they breed at such high levels and they know their objective of to overthrow the West?
Oh, breed, that evil word. True. Look at the reproductive rates in Western states plummeting. That's because Western women and various women's aren't interested in having kids. Oh, it's going to affect me. It makes me look bad. It makes my tits saggy. It does terrible things to my tummy. Okay, well, then I guess you're asking for this, aren't you? You're making yourself wide open. Hey, what's one of the first things that I noticed when I went to Idaho? Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a lot of families here, and they have lots of kids. Ain't that weird?
You know, what this young man just brought up something. You know, if you go back and you study history, remember that the Islamic invasion of Europe's 732 AD, Charles the Hammer Martel defeated them at the Battle of Tours. 1571, the Christian fleet, the Holy League fleet, defeated the invading Muslim navy at the Battle of Lepanto. We know about what happened in 1683 at the gates of Vienna. Now look at what the United Kingdom looks like. Look at what France looks like without firing a single shot. Al-Hijra, you know what that means? It means migration. See, the Islamic calendar does not begin when the first convert or when Islam first started, which was 610 AD in Mecca. The Islamic calendar begins after Muhammad made his hijrah from Mecca to Medina, and the violence started from 622 on. So what is happening today is that they realize by way of al-hijra, migration, that they can come into Western civilization, masquerade themselves as a religion. It ain't a religion.
No, it's not.
Okay? Show me a religion that says that you should go out and take sex slaves of women after you've conquered them. Or some of the verses that I just read here.
Show me a religion that says when you leave it, you should be killed.
Here.
Hey, Christianity does that, don't they? Sure.
So their principle is first migration, population, agitation, then domination. Those are 4 phases.
What did I say? They, Islam, Muslims, they are not here to meld or to assimilate. As you've heard numerous times, not just from me, they're here to dominate and conquer, period. If you're stupid enough and weak enough and cowardly, sufficiently cowardly, which they hope you are, to let them do it from within. Hello, Dearborn. Hello, Hamtramck. Hello, Michigan. Hello, coming Texas. When Texas goes away and gets subsumed, oh my, the gates are going to be open.
Now, ask yourself, where are we in the United States of America in those 4 phases? That's why you got to stop this. You know, a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel by the name of Brandon Shaw went back to his alma mater at Old Dominion University to teach Army ROTC. He was shot and killed.
BZ, why do you waste so much time on this stuff? Why don't you just get up there and blah, 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 like a talking head? Because these guys are much more educated than I am about these topics. And they have history to back them up. And that's why I use them for reference, because they know much more than I do.
Teaching Army ROTC by an individual who has sworn allegiance to ISIS. And somebody, again, with a stuck-on stupid card, released that individual early, quote-unquote supervised release, a felon, a naturalized citizen from Sierra Leone. They did not denaturalize him and deport him back. Somehow he ended up being able to purchase a weapon. He walked into that, on that college campus, into that room and shot Brandon Shaw. But thank God that those Army ROTC cadets do what they're supposed to do. And they beat him down and they killed him. This is what we...
And to that I say, hey kids, that's a happy story.
You're confronting. And if we don't understand what phase that we're in...
Let me be blunt, okay? Because up to now, up to all of my shows that I've done since 2017, I'm a shrinking violet, and someday I will emerge from my shell and tell you what I think. Well, here's what I think right now. Death to Islam. Kill all Muslims. Period. End of statement.
Because you look at the United Kingdom, they're almost in phase 4. Where are we when it comes to migrate, populate, agitate, dominate? We got to stop it.
This is what I've said about the UK, and I will continue to say about the UK. If the UK continues on its current path, it will be the first westernized, muzzy nation. Now, of course, nuclear nation. Now, of course, Pakistan has nukes, but the Pakis weren't a former Western nation. And the nukes that they have are not like the nukes the UK has. So if the UK continues on its current point, I suggest, I demand that our Department of War recalibrate some of our nuclear weapons so that they're aimed at the UK. That's just smart thinking.
It's not a religion. It's a totalitarian, theocratic political system that is rooted in tyranny and it says you either convert, you subjugate, or you die. That's in their own words.
Convert, or we'll kill you. And we love women, sure, especially little girls, when we decide that we're going to conduct female genital mutilation on them and just remove their clitoris. Why not? All in the name of Allah. Hey, what a great life that's going to be for women. All you womenses who think, oh, I love Islam. Oh, well, maybe not so much when reality hits you right in your face. Or, I don't know, maybe somewhere in your genitals. That's so smart.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Mission log. Entry. I mean, let's face it, who's even counting anymore? The Lost Wanderer is officially off course, chasing rogue rocket launches, fringe science, and things that probably violate causality. If it burns fuel, bends time, or makes scientists very uncomfortable, yeah, I'm probably going to talk about it. Every other Sunday on KLRN Radio, The Lost Wanderer, because space doesn't come with a roadmap, and honestly, I wouldn't follow if it did.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Hey fellas, are you mission ready? You need to check out Mission Ready Men via Earl Big E Jackson on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. It's a show that equips you to navigate our society's challenges from a biblical perspective with courage and conviction. Tune into Mission Ready Men as we examine our culture through the prism of biblical truths, teachings, and how to apply them in our daily lives. Prepare to step up, stand out, and step into your role as a man as ordained by God. That's Mission Ready Men, hosted by Earl Jackson on the SHR Media Network. And get mission ready.
Want to make an immediate difference in the life of a critically ill child? You have the ability to do that right now. Make a donation to Dream Makers for Life, the organization that restores dreams to seriously ill children and their families. You can sponsor a dream pack for a child, which contains a clear PVC backpack, a dry erase board adventure coloring book, a journal, and dry erase markers to inspire a critically ill child to envision a future adventure and hope. Want to become a dream maker for life yourself? Go to dreamforlife.org. That's dreamforlife.org. Help a child. Help a family. There is always hope.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Only 26 more minutes before the end of the show. I don't believe that I'm going to be doing any overtime tonight. Thursday night, don't know what I'm going to be doing except whatever it is. It'll be outrageous, just like the rest of the crap that occurs during the week, last week, yesterday, the day before. And also, I should point out, it's 9:34 on the left coast, Pacific, and it is 11:34 Central, and it is midnight 34 over on the East Coast. So the show went zip, zop, zip. His face was cut to shreds. That's a Bill Cosby joke. Back when he was funny, back when he wasn't a rapist, back when he was actually a humorist. How strange, how weird. Islam They'll tell you what they're going to do to your face. And I wonder why you're not listening. This is Islam in Dearborn, Michiganistan. Islam will take over the world as promised by Allah, sacrificing our children in jihad. That's the level of stuff that we need to be doing.
It's called divide and conquer. Allah says you are in the arena fighting, and the angels are witnessing over you. We are going to own the world.
Anybody running for power in the world today?
But remember, leftists, they're kidding. They're the religion of peace and well, number one, like Alan West said, they're not a religion at all. Number two, they're the religion of peace and tolerance. Maybe I should say pieces and zero tolerance. Why don't you listen to what they're telling you? Spittle flecked to your face.
And you have the power to go and vote. You're going to put the imam in front of that and say, how much of this would-be leader is in alignment with my imam?
Go take, by the authority of the law of God, take what is yours. We live in a country that allows us to take, and we can fight for it.
Why is the other side not getting killed? Why are they not being decapitated? It will come. Don't worry.
I don't know. Call me wacky. He's wondering why there aren't more Americans killed. He's wondering why there aren't more Americans decapitated. Hey, kids, remember the video in 2012 of the Muzzies on the beach making people in orange suits kneel in the surf? And then one by one, they decapitate them. Wow, what great fun!
In fact, Islam is on a trajectory of the most incredible growth imaginable. It will continue as promised by Allah, and it will overtake the world as promised by Allah. He trained these two boys in fighting. He trained them with the sword. He trained them in how to fight. And Abbas was a master of fighting. Two brothers were together. They did everything in tandem, and they were very effective. They were killing the enemy.
You're the enemy. You're the infidel. Okay, except in certain situational examples, as I've said before. Islam in the Middle Eastern version is nomadic, tribal. They're Bedouins. There are no lines. There are just kind of areas and regions. And their belief system can turn on a dime. Me against my brother. Me and my brother against my cousin. Me and my brother and my cousin against the tribe. Me and my brother and my cousin and the tribe against the outsider. And these alliances and allegiances can change at any point, at any time, like the proverbial prairie winds.
Constantly, they were really effective. They were young boys, Aun and Muhammad, but they were very effective. Zainab alayhi salam is watching this. This is her two sons. I asked, look, we have children. Who could bear to see that? Who could bear to see that that living child shall not be alive anymore, but will be alive in the next world in the state of Shahada? Can you imagine, mothers, after your children have just become martyred, that you...
Okay, this guy is conforming to everything that I knew when I was in homicide and robbery, and I was investigating criminals. In a confession, first you get an admission. When you have an admission, then you push towards a confession. And then sometimes people will, they'll cry like this. They're not sincere until you get to tears and snot. Now, you can create vocalities of any type you wish, but do you see tears? Do you see snot? It's all fakery. It's Muzzy Kabuki theater of the absurd.
Go into Salah. You go and thank Allah. This is the level of ibadah and iman you and I need to have.
They mean what they say. Oh, no, they don't. They love everybody. Now, remember what I said about eliminating history. And I think I put this up earlier. And this is how you do it. This is how it's being done now. Communists want to eliminate history. Muzzies want to eliminate history. Hey, weird, this isn't strange, yes? A quote from Julian Assange: by getting rid of paper files and replacing them with digital ones, they can erase history. One day, what's going to happen is you'll encounter the message, page not found. And the next day, you'll see them deny that it even actually happened. That's why BZ owns everything. I own my books, hundreds of them. I own my CDs, hundreds of them. I own my DVDs, hundreds of them. You can't stop me from playing or reading or keeping any of that. All that stuff, it belongs to me. I own it, and I will pass it down to those who will continue to hold actual, tangible, physical things of import. Because Amazon, they're ripping books apart in order to feed AI. That's not a, oh, well, you know, maybe it's. No, this is happening right now. How do we know it happened? I'll put this up also. So what happened is journalists hid an AirTag in a rare book shipment and confirmed Amazon to be one of the buyers behind the bulk orders, destroying rare books to feed their AI. They tracked it to Amazon's LAS 8 warehouse in Las Vegas, home to VGT3. There's the logo. Look at it. That's a scanning operation feeding Amazon's AI training data where workers say they cut the bindings off books, scan them faster, and then pitch them. They destroy them. Amazon won't say why they're destroyed. Well, I know why. So do you, because you're not a moron. You're not an ignoramus. They're eliminating history. Oh, BZ, what does that have to do with the show? It doesn't have anything to do with the show, does it? No, nothing at all. Nada. Nope. Nothing. Except we're getting to the point where it's muzzies versus commies. And I ask, who's going to win? Well, as we know, muzzies play long ball. Commies have been defeated many times in the past couple of 100 years. Muzzies, just like you heard in the history portion earlier with Christopher Hitchens, Alan West, that gentleman that was British in the UK, they know a little bit about history. And they're telling you to the sides of your face, to your Gesicht, to your ossicles, this is what happens. And trust me when I tell you, commies want to eliminate history. Muzzies want to eliminate history. Islam wants to eliminate all religion except for Islam. Communists want to eliminate all religion, and that's why they're going to have an issue with Islam, because you can't have a religion. A religion, said Marx, is the opiate of the masses. You have to have government as God. God cannot take the place of government. The two shall not meet. Okay, let me tell you a little story. You'll love this. So this is in Oklahoma City. And so this migrant, I'm sorry, get your terms right, BZ, an illegal invader from Ghana hunted women down on the streets of Oklahoma City. And so he attacked one. Well, they let him go. And he attacked another one. And they let him go. Then he tried to rape a third woman in broad daylight. The only reason that he wasn't able to finish the act was that firefighters nearby tackled him off the woman. So this guy, a loving illegal invader, was arrested 20 plus times. Okay, so August 1st, not that long ago, police say he pushed a woman up against a bus stop and shoved his hands down her pants. Why not? That same day, another woman says he crept up behind her on the sidewalk, yanked her pants down, and ran when she fought him off. Sexual battery, indecent exposure, arrested, and released. That's right. On August 6th, 5 days later, near Scissortail Park, police said he walked up behind another woman and grabbed her body over and over and over and then started digging in his pants. Arrested again. And that's right, released again. Okay, so August 12th. Getting tired of this yet? Women, I'm sure this is why women love Muslims and illegal invaders. On August 12th, so on a jogging trail, so he came up behind a woman that was jogging and pulled her to the ground, tried to rape her right there in the open in broad daylight. And he almost did it. And other people, bystanders, came to the rescue. They saw it, they pulled him off and called police. So if those people hadn't been around, the act would have been accomplished. And the woman would have been raped on a public jogging trail. Because women, don't you think, if they're wearing provocative clothing, well, hell, they deserve that. Just ask your local illegal invader who happens to be a muzzy. This is weird. Every single time he attacked him from behind. Every single time. He hunted a woman who was alone. And 2 separate times, the justice system caught him and let him out to do it again. 20 arrests since 2022. And if you listen to the justice system, you know what? We got to live like this.
26-year-old Jeff Acer has been in jail 3 times in the last 2 weeks, all for allegedly assaulting women. On August 1st, near Northwest 23rd and Classen, police were called because of a possible rape. Acer allegedly pushed a woman up against a bus stop window and stuck his hands down her pants. Police were also told by another woman Acer came up behind her while she was walking on Classen and pulled her pants down. She was able to push him and got away.
Well, you know what? I think it's only because of cultural differences. He just didn't understand. And I'm sure that's the argument. He didn't understand that in America, we really shouldn't be doing these things. And so I'm sure that's why the judge took pity and said that, you know what? Let's just release him. Okay? Because, hey, he's new. He just needs some time to acclimatize and to get used to how we do things here in America. Well, people talk about cruelty, and so I have a long list of people that I'm going to name just because they need to be named. Cruelty is deliberately, with great intent, facilitating, like 46, the mass importation of thunderous, third world shithole parasitic illegal invaders into the country with absolutely zero vetting whatsoever, simply to Cloward Piven the system. And it did. Oh, but there wouldn't be consequences because these people, they're filled with love and appreciation for their country, and they wouldn't continue, because it's America, they wouldn't continue the acts in a prior country here because they realize we're different. And one of the first things that they are interested in is assimilation. And so a lot of them started, murdering and pillaging and raping our people on our streets. And how about this? Let's start with this. I'll put the names up just in case you want to see the names. They're going to be really, really small. That's okay. I'll read them because they deserve to be read. 22-year-old Laken Riley, Georgia. 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, Texas. 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton, Maryland. Oh, this is just a partial list, and I'm going to get tired of reading their names, but it's immaterial. I'm going to continue to do it until I run out of names. 37-year-old Rachel Morin, Maryland. 33-year-old Deborah Brandau, Massachusetts. 26-year-old Casey Chadwick, Connecticut. 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts, Iowa. 40-year-old Larisha Thompson, Texas. 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina, Texas. 25-year-old Ruby Garcia, Michigan. 48-year-old Santiago Lopez Morales, California. 31-year-old Nazareth Tamer Claire, New York. 42-year-old Maria Pleitz and her 11-year-old daughter, Dayanara, Maryland. 15-year-old Lucas Jackson Nanez Lopez, Texas. 19-year-old Dakara Thompson, Maryland. 7-year-old Ivory Smith, Iowa. 37-year-old Megan Boss, Wisconsin. 18-year-old Hallie Hegelson, Minnesota. 19-year-old Brady Heiling, Minnesota. 30-year-old Alexis Jasso, Texas. 11-year-old Aiden Clark, Ohio. 43-year-old Fernando Navarrete, California. 29-year-old Grayson Davis, Texas. 23-year-old Matthew Dennis, Massachusetts. 28-year-old Isidoro Cortez, California. 8-year-old Maverick Martson, California. 10-year-old Alex A.J. Wise Jr., 10 years old. 18-year-old Talea Crochet, Louisiana. 18-year-old Rylan Ancale, Louisiana. 32-year-old Kate Steinley, California. 18-year-old Musa Fofana, New York. 19-year-old Anya Varfalamiv and 19-year-old Nikolay Osokin, New York. 21-year-old Sarah Root, Iowa. 44-year-old police officer David Lee, Texas. 47-year-old Melissa Powell and her 16-year-old son Reardon, Texas. 70-year-old Robert Bowles, Texas. 17-year-old Nabra Hassanen, Virginia. 15-year-old Genesis Cornejo Alvarado, Texas. 17-year-old Jamil Shah, 2, California. 55-year-old America Thayer, California. 36-year-old Javier Vega Jr., Texas. 49-year-old Tony Bologna, California. 20-year-old Michael Bologna, California. 19-year-old Matthew Bologna, California. 8-year-old Maura Garrity, New York. 6-year-old Ian Mateo Garcia, New York. 27-year-old Christopher Gadd, Georgia. 27-year-old David Hadrich, Pennsylvania. 58-year-old Cynthia Goulding, Florida. 36-year-old Cheston Edwards, North Carolina. 22-year-old Connor Holcomb, Texas. 3-year-old Andy Lynn Blair, Texas. 25-year-old Corbin Wagner, Texas. 76-year-old Gretchen Gross, Pennsylvania. 46-year-old Alfaro Gilbert, Florida. 68-year-old Diane Hill Luckett, Maryland. 30-year-old Dominic Durden, Maryland. BZ, you moron. What does this have to do with any of this? Because if the DSA gets in charge, these borders will be open again. Guaranteed. And they have specifically said that. I'm not making it up because I don't have to make that up. And the weird thing is, you know what's actually happening is that muzzies are allowing all of this to occur so that when commies get in charge, if and when they get in charge, then the muzzies will simply stop and step in. And so they will find, the DSA, the commies, will find that, well, like all socialists and Democrats, everything that they've done in the past, that's immaterial. The deal is that you just haven't found the right socialist. You haven't found the right commie to pull things off properly without killing millions of people. And so this isn't just happening here, of course. It's happening all around the world. And people who are stupid are letting it happen.
My point was simply that I think you exaggerate the scale of Europe's problem, and that
I think people are asleep at the switch and do not realize the magnitude of the issue.
I also think that your interventions, however well-intentioned they may be, risk making Europe's problem a lot worse.
How?
Because you are putting your support behind people who are proto-authoritarians, who are not trying simply to, make sure there is better integration of Muslims or to secure the borders, but who have very clear fascist tendencies. And you will cause huge divisions with...
Said the fascist herself. Antifa are exactly what they say they're against. They are the fascists. They are the brown shirts. That's why history must be eliminated. That's why Ceuta, Spain, that clot of war-age males below took over an entire town, and now they're trying to find ways to get across into Spain proper itself.
In Europe.
I think what you're saying is total fiction. And really, I'm simply saying that that Europe has to have secure borders.
Okay, on that we agree.
And should not let in vast numbers of people.
Okay, stop. On that, we agree. Okay, anybody besides me think that's just a little bizarre? Okay, but like she said, there's something positive to be said about all of this. Thank God BZ looks deep into issues and brings you videos and articles illustrating that perhaps things are changing. Okay, so what happened? This is video of families returning to the beach in Ceuta, in the beaches of Ceuta, after Spain's Prime Minister Sanchez decided to, I'll cave to public pressure. And he clears out the illegal immigrants. And look what a fine time this is. Thank God he came to his senses. And now you've got a beach like this, which is clean, where people can enjoy themselves and enjoy entertainment, some sunbathing, some nice water. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, no, that's a lie. That's Poland. That's not Ceuta. Huh. That's weird. BZ, what about Poland? This time, kids, I may go into a little bit of overtime just to prove a point. Thanks for allowing me to do it. Go.
Tell them. They don't let us. They said, if I go to Poland, they will hit me or they will kill me. Really?
Bronimy polskich granic, żeby żaden brudas nam się na krzywy ryj nie wpierdolił. Do wszystkich opalonych pseudoinżynierów. Wchodzicie tutaj, do naszego kraju, na własną odpowiedzialność. Au!
Tell them. They don't let...
Hey, here's a strange concept. Poland for the Poles. Wow. What a bunch of crazies in Poland. Except their politicians say.
We changed our law. When our soldier was killed with a spear, we changed our law and our soldiers can use live bullets now. So I have a message to all jihadists. Do not come to the Polish border. Do not try to harm any of our soldiers because you will be dead. Shot dead. And mark my words, communists. There will come a day when Christian Europe will rise. There will come a day that we will get rid of communists from the government. We're going to get rid of jihadists and we're going to make Europe great again. And
hey, did you hear what he said? Let's get rid of commies. Let's get rid of muzzies. Where's this guy been all our lives?
Always remember my motto. Learn from Poland. Be like Poland.
Oh, holy moly. This is the first one of the entire show. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And so did any of that stuff potentially possibly come to fruition? Well, maybe it did. People made mistakes.
This is the Poland army. We are trying to go. We are not doing anything. Shoot me. This is the Poland army. I'm going. Please, no. This is the Poland.
That's called Fafo Polish style. Oh, BZ, that's so hard. That's heartless. How can you be like that? Poland for Poles. They have the right. They're a sovereign state to do what they will. That's why they will continue to be a civilized nation. Islam is nothing but a barbaric death cult. A barbaric death cult. Well, maybe it appears that I won't be going that much into overtime because, as I've said many times before on the show, and it's time for ta-ta. Ta-ta. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks for listening to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct right here on the SHR Media Network and on Rumble and on Twitch and on X and on the SHR Media YouTube channel and the munificently grandiose and stellar KLRN. And, of course, all sorts of bulbous podcast locales around the fruited plain and across the planet. Promotional consideration is by the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works and also by Shure and Electro Voice microphones, the Arrakis company that make my mixer, and also by Pratt & Whitney, the manufacturers of dependable engines yielding and producing thrust you can trust. And of course, I would be remiss in not mentioning my personal KC-135 Kettle One refueling team, with whom I shall be consorting in less than 10 minutes, guaranteed. Tiaras tonight are by My Little Pony. Look, it's a hat from Lee Ho Fooks. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Kids, thanks for being here tonight. A, appreciate it, and B, appreciate it. Salute.
Everybody quiet down now and get some sleep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Ben. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night,
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night and good luck.
You don't know how long you're going to be here, folks. So